We go.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we have some technical difficulties. That's why we have Kenneth's picture right there, but he's with us. Say hi, Kenneth. He's not here. Technical difficulties, I guess. Fuck you.
Nah,
See, that's used to
nah.
be. You just get used to it. Okay, so let's get into what we're gonna talk today. Joe Rogan was all over Twitter trending earlier today, and here's the reason why. Let's play the clip.
Who do we need? We need. I mean,
This is the real issue with the Democratic Party. They've essentially made us all morons.
Yeah.
With this Joe Biden thing, they really have. They
Can you
made us all
imagine?
morons.
Who do we need? I mean,
I
none
can't
of-
vote for that guy.
I can't vote for him.
I can't vote for him.
I can't vote for Trump.
I'd rather vote for Trump than him. This is the real issue with the Democratic Party. They've
There you
essentially
guys have
made
it.
us
This
all.
is why Joe Rogan has been trending for a good while on Twitter. And so, what do you think about this? What do you think? Why people are so angry against Joe Rogan and all the Bernie Sanders supporters?
I think the people who are angry are people who essentially just hate Trump, and they're trying their best to get his ass out of office. Um, Other than that, I can't really imagine because it's like that. You see it all over the place. Obviously, Joe Biden is accused of sexual assault. No one in the mainstream media is talking about it. All of his hangups, no one's talking about it. And again, you see them bury their heads in the sand, and they hope that it somehow plays out differently,
Mm-hmm.
despite him being less popular than Hillary Clinton at this moment. It's depressing.
I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't make any freaking sense for people to be all mad about it. I think it's just like previously we have discussed some of the things that have been trending on Twitter, how the establishment has come out, has used as an excuse just to slam against Bernie Sanders supporters. And here's another excuse, like Joe Rogan. Recently, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, just before we were going to some of the primaries, Joe Rogan came out and said, "Oh, I like Bernie Sanders."
I mean, but that's the thing, right? It's like what you have is you have what is essentially a double standard, right? It's everyone is saying, "Hey, Bernie Sanders went negative. He attacked everyone, blah blah blah," and they never really talk about the attack they did on Bernie Sanders, right? Or his cabinet for that matter. You had that one doctor, I forgot his name, who was talking about how his press secretary, uh, Brianna Joy Gray, is that her name?
Yeah,
Brianna
yeah.
Joy Gray, yeah. How she was from the island of misfit black girls, never had to apologize for it. Um, you had um, you had Chris Matthews call him a Nazi or compare him to Nazis over and over again. You see it over and over again. The followers are brown shirts. They're blah blah. But then as soon as Joe Biden won, they're like, "Oh, well, you should be voting for Joe Biden." But at the same time, Elizabeth Warren got snake emojis. There's like, "Oh, why did you think she was going to support you?" Like, right there, everyone was like, "Hey, you sent her snake emojis. Why would she support you after you did that to her?" It's like, okay, cool. You just called us Nazis. Why would we support that? Why would you support you after you said that about us?
Yeah.
You see how it works? It's like, but that never crossed their mind. And then on top of that, like they started to pretend about young voters. They're starting to pretend that they care about young voters. And so they're saying, hey, why don't you vote for Joe Biden? It's like, well, in 2018, he said he felt no sympathy for any of our causes. And then in 2019, he said that, oh, if you have a problem, you go try to fix it. And and then they wonder why people aren't excited by Joe Biden. And so what is essentially this is they're trying to guilt trip you or guilt trip us and everyone who think like us into voting for someone who is not worth voting for. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you take a bad candidate, put them up, and you say, hey, if you want to Trump out of office, then you vote for this person. And you say, well, I don't like that person. They said, well, that means you like Trump. It was just like, just a couple of months ago, all of you guys say, I don't know if I can vote for Sanders. Now that I say I can't vote for Trump, now I'm the bad guy. I can't vote for Biden, I'm now the bad guy. It's crazy. Like, it's just more double standard by the media. And this is why no one believes it. It's like if you want Medicare for all, you don't vote for Joe Biden. Yeah, sorry, just how it goes. And the fact that Joe Rogan is pretty much echoing the sentiment of probably the vast majority of
Independence.
middle. I wouldn't even say independent. I would say like middle America, the
Okay.
people who are Rust Belt such.
Yeah.
Uh, now that he's echoing that, they're like, "Oh, keep your mouth shut. What are you doing? You're ruining his chances." Because, like I said, they're hedging their bets because they know he's bad, and so if he loses, like Hillary Clinton lost, they need to find someone else to blame instead of him, right? Because they can't have because if Bernie Sanders loses, they say, "See, progressive doesn't work." They've already started saying that. But if establishment loses twice, oh, we just didn't have the right face.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, yeah. I completely agree with you in that sentiment because obviously they just immediately started saying when like I said before, when Joe Rogan came in and said, "Oh, I like Bernie. I think I'm gonna vote for him," and then Bernie Sanders' campaign came in and kind of put that clip on social media, and then we said, "Why are you promoting Joe Rogan's opinion? He's a right
Yeah,
winger, right?" And then it was
yeah,
like, it doesn't make any sense because the beginning of the primary, we saw all these candidates who were making the arguments like we cannot allow us to pick someone like Bernie because he's too far to the left. Let's pick someone more to the middle that he's gonna bring conservatives to vote for Democrats, right? And now
right,
that you have some conservatives coming into the table and saying, "Look, I'm a vote for Bernie Sanders," I was like, "No, no, 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 no! How dare you to say that, right?" Because that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. They were picking some centrist Democrats to
right,
bring conservative voters into the Democratic Party and vote for them. And now that they're doing that, but they're doing it for Bernie Sanders, now it's wrong.
right. We see, but that's the thing, right? It's just that that's the point that they're trying to force into people's head, which is that it's everyone else's fault. We tried our best, but not really, and it's disgusting. I mean, you take a look at it, and it's the same thing. I mean, they're saying, "Hey, we need someone who could bring in all those conservatives that didn't vote, that didn't like Trump." It's like we tried that with Hillary Clinton. That's exactly the same plan, and it failed. They're not gonna vote for you. Like they don't want you. They just don't want you. They might not like Trump, but they're gonna do what most people who don't like Biden do, and they're just not gonna vote. They're not gonna go out and say, "Hey, I'm imagining vote for Democrat." It doesn't even make sense. It's like, and so what they're trying to do is, like I said, they're gonna go with the same strategy and somehow expect Trump not to pick up on it. But Trump is already picking up on it. He's right back to populism. He does what he does best. He markets himself well, and now he's gonna come out and he's gonna probably embarrass them again.
Yeah,
And they know.
yeah. And even then, when these establishment Democrats like to just go at Joe Rogan because of the things he might have said or done in the past, or the people he has on his podcast show. More, and then they try to label him as a conservative or as a Republican when it's being he himself has come out and said that he has never voted Republican in his life.
Yeah.
There's even a clip about it. Let me show you guys the clip that I'm talking about. Here it is.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So anyway, that made me feel good. That makes me feel good.
Right.
I want to
Like,
be an outsider. I don't
yeah.
want. I want people to be afraid of me.
They're afraid of you now.
Well, I don't know if they are, but they won't come on my show. So that's good. And by the way, my show was never about guests. My show was all about my opinion,
Of course.
and calling out bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
not
that's
nobody
you're doing
tunes-
the right thing. I'm doing the wrong thing because they all keep asking to be on my show.
Oh, okay.
I've had requests from all of them.
Really?
Oh yeah, Biden, Warren,
How do you resist
Mayor
that
Pete.
shit?
because I have my friends. I'd rather talk to my friends.
Yeah, I know. I get a
I
boner.
like Tulsi and I like Bernie. That's it.
Oh yeah?
Everybody else can eat shit.
Look at you, fucking progressive.
Yeah. Well, I've always been. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone says you're a right winger.
They're out of their fucking mind. I've never voted right wing in my life.
Really?
Never. I voted Democrat except for independent. I voted for Gary Johnson because he did my podcast.
People don't realize how powerful. Like
Yeah, I'm not right wing at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's wild.
No, there's nothing about me that's right wing.
When
Yeah.
you kill your own food.
That's it. Well, that's crazy. 95+% of the population of the planet eats meat. I just happen to kill my own. Yeah, that's it.
So-
It's not like 95% of the population is right wing because they kill their own food. I think there's a lot of right wing like family values and things like that I admire. I think, but when it gets to homophobia, when it gets to women's rights, that's where I break. Right? I'm 100% in favor of women's rights, 100% in favor of gay rights, gay marriage. I'm a big proponent of there's got to be some new action taken to clean up a lot of these crime-ridden communities. And the idea that we can spend all this money overseas, but we can't spend money on Flint, Michigan, or Detroit, or the South Side of Chicago, that to me is insane. That doesn't make any sense. And this idea that we're all on the same starting page is so fucking stupid too. That is a very non-right wing way of looking at it, because everybody's like, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's a lot of people that came out of bad neighborhoods, but they didn't fucking cry, woe is me. They just went
Right.
out there and they kicked ass. That's nonsense. You have no idea what it's like to grow up in a crime-ridden, poverty-infested, drug-addled neighborhood. You don't know what that's like, and we should make it so that no one knows what that's like. If we want America better, the best way to start is to clean up all the spots that suck and make people that are coming out of there have a real chance at making something out of their life. Don't have it so that they're starting out from the time they're a child with a massive deficit. That to me,
And what you mean by cleaning up the play?
So there you guys have it. That's basically Joe Rogan clearing his whole image right there, telling everyone, "Look, I never voted for Republican, or I'm not right wing at all. Yes, I do have some like conservative values here and there, but that's about it." And this whole, going after him on social media because people think that he's a right winger or that he shares some of that right wing's perspectives is completely stupid and embarrassing per se. Kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, I'm very funny. So
no,
yeah, yeah. So this whole thing that coming after Bernie Sanders and saying that he cannot pull conservatives. A lot of his outings actually when Joe Rogan brought
because
Bernie, right? They have that 1 hour interview. All these people in the comment sections like, I never had listened to Bernie Sanders more than 1 hour, and yeah, I actually agree with most of these.
and that's the point because it's like when you take a look at Americans, most Americans know exactly what they want. Like it's not complicated. They want a job, they want dignity in that job, they want health, wealth, and happiness. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
and just that simple. Education, everything that leads to it. Most people, most Americans will agree on those things. The problem you have is that there's politicians who will divide people based on one or two issues and keep hitting those issues over and over and over again, and then tell you, "Oh, it's because you're so different because you have a huge different point of view." I said the same thing in 2016 uh, when when Bernie Sanders ran for the first time. You saw in real time the division of the Democratic Party. And it wasn't by people in the Democratic Party. It wasn't by the average voter. It was by the media who went out there, lied all the time, omitted things, blew things out of proportion that weren't even worth blowing out of proportion. And then, as soon as they needed everyone to come back together, it failed. It failed because they went too far. And now that there's people who are on the Bernie camp, or people who are the Biden camp or whoever camp feel that you can't get along, they're trying to figure out a way. Oh, how can we unify the party? It's like, well, this is how you unify the party. You stop lying and you get it done. Because you see now Joe Biden is struggling with young voters a lot. They say, how are you going to get the young voters? They don't know. So he goes out there, he offers the same thing that Hillary Clinton tried to do. Oh, we'll care about your student loan debt. We'll do something on climate change. I hear you. I'm listening. And
yeah,
it's just like, look, the reason why people voted Bernie Sanders or wanted Bernie Sanders wasn't because he just represented the thing. It was because his policies. It was because he would fought for so long that you could believe him when he says he's going to fight again. Versus someone like Hillary Clinton, who literally says she has a private position, a public position. I'm not going to trust her to fight for something.
yeah,
Like Joe Biden, who just like a year ago was like completely bashing young people,
yeah,
right? Now you say, "Oh, I believe you. I trust you. I listened to you." It's like, well, you didn't say that 2 years ago. You said that now that you're running for president. And so it's just like no one. That's why one of the reasons people vote for president. And to be honest, he will never get that I don't think he's ever gonna get the trust of young people. I think when you look at the polling and say, "Hey, would you vote for Biden over Trump?" Most people are gonna say yes. But that's a different question of being. They say, "Are you actually gonna go out there and vote for Biden?"
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I
Yeah.
don't think people are gonna vote. I don't think there's gonna be enough care for them to go and push out Biden because at the end of the day, as bad as Trump is, people know he's just a symptom of people like Biden and Clinton, everything else. And the only reason people voted for Trump is because they were tired of the deadlock in Washington. They were tired of they were tired of all the lying. They were tired of all the cheating. They were tired of all the BS that they spew. And so, yeah, I agree with Joe Rogan. I said the Democrats made people look stupid because in a heartbeat, all the attacks that they did on Sanders, they pretend like they never did it. Like they pretend like they never did it. They pretend like they were caring about the issue the whole time, and it's an insult to people's intelligence. It's like I said, the one question when people said "I want Medicare for all," that wasn't just MSNBC audience. That was just CNN audience, right? That was the Fox audience, right? It was conservatives. It
Yeah.
was liberal. It was everybody said they want Medicare for all.
Yeah.
And every day, these people in the media who said they were just there looking out for the people went out there and they attacked it over and over and over again. How are we gonna pay for it? How are we gonna pay for it? How are we gonna pay for it?
Yeah. It was just the
And now
media. Even in
and
now.
now that they will go out there and say how much healthcare costs right now, which is more.
Yeah.
They never went out there and said that
Yeah.
because their whole point is they're not looking out for the American people. They're looking for the industry for the insurance company people, right? They're looking out for the donor people. That's what they're looking out for.
Yeah, for sure. Because even if when Bernie Sanders started bringing it up, because I guess his campaign told him, look, you have to start bringing it up. That no one says how much we're paying right now for healthcare, right? Which is
Yeah.
like two times the amount. And Bernie said like U.S. never bring it up, and whenever he said it, they always move on really fast. I was like, oh, okay, we're not gonna start talking about this right now.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw what happened. It's like when Bernie Sanders said, "Hey, did you say Elizabeth Warren couldn't? You said Elizabeth Warren couldn't a woman couldn't win as president, right?" To Elizabeth Warren, what did they say? Oh, Elizabeth Warren, what did you say when he told you that? And then fast forward when Biden was out here lying, saying he didn't want to cut Social Security. Did they ever fact check him? No.
No.
Not even once. Like he was
Yeah.
just there lying
Yeah.
like 2-3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Not once did they say, "Oh, you did say that." I guarantee they're gonna do it to Trump. I guarantee they did it to Sanders
Yeah. They
over
always
and over.
gotta do it.
They never once
No.
did it to Biden. And so but then they went out there and they said, "Hey, Biden, people voted for Biden because they like Biden." It's like people voted for Biden because you gave them a false image of Biden, and you gave them a false image of Sanders. And so because of that, they went all that false image. You had people that day who thought Joe Biden was for Medicare for all, despite him repeatedly saying multiple times that he did not believe it. Even now, he said he didn't believe it. And you have people believing that he's for Medicare for all. When they voted for Joe Biden, what was it? I think it was South Carolina, was it?
Yeah.
They had a poll. They went there and they asked. They said, "Hey, Joe Biden's for Medicare for all." And they told him, "Oh, he's in for Medicare for all." People couldn't believe it. They were like, "Oh, I only voted for him because I thought he was for Medicare for
Yeah. Yeah.
all."
Because I think because at the beginning of the primaries, I think every single like CNN, MSNBC was saying, oh yeah, they're all for
Yeah.
Medicare for all. Even fucking Elizabeth Warren had the balls to say that everyone was in favor of Medicare for all. They just had different names for it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and so now that they had to actually go, so that when they found out the truth, it was just like that's how you know there's a failure of media. They said they never told the truth about Joe Biden. They never told everyone that he was going to cut Social Security. Never told them that that he wasn't for Medicare for all. Nothing, right? Even in 2018, when he said he didn't care about young people, he had no empathy. Didn't say anything,
Yeah.
right? And so people are going out there with this false impression of Biden, like he's Obama 2.0, and you seeing it in the numbers. You're
Yeah.
seeing it right in the numbers. And so now they're gonna have to face the fact that so again, just like they did with Hillary, they put the gloves on. They threw softball questions, and then when she went up against Trump, well, he didn't care about her. He didn't care if she was gonna win or not. Yeah, he's her opponent. He annihilated her. Everything, caught her on all her lies, embarrassed her, all those things. And now he could do the same thing as Biden because they're setting him up for the exact same attacks that they set Hillary Clinton up for.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the exact same attack. Because like I said, they could hide their hands then against Tara Reid, her sexual assault allegation. All that means is that Trump could come out there, first debate again, say, "Hey, there's Tara Reid. That's the woman that Joe Biden sexually assaulted." What is Joe Biden going to say about that? What is media going to say about that?
Yeah,
All it's going to say is that the media didn't cover it because they're trying to hide them. They're trying to protect Joe.
yeah,
And then you're gonna see the same repeat over and over again.
yeah,
It's sad.
yeah. And just to end this, before that, and when people say that it's Bernie Sanders supporters and people like Joe Rogan telling people to vote for Donald Trump, it's not the first person to actually tell people to vote for Donald Trump was Joe Biden. Let's just a small clip of 3 seconds. Joe Biden telling an immigrant activist to vote for Joe Biden if he doesn't like what he stands for.
You should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump.
See, this is what it is. See, he's actually right. We saw right when he was coming on fourth or third. He was telling everyone, if you don't like me, you don't like what I stand for, vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. Vote for someone else. So there you go. I don't know why people are complaining about it. Joe Biden did it first. Joe Biden's gonna keep doing it, and I mean, it's a given. It's a given. I mean, people are voting for Trump, or they're gonna choose Trump because of him.